Hello, everyone. Thank you all for tuning in to our review of South Park Season 19, Episode 3. And if you by chance happen to click on the video that I posted or we did together like 5 minutes ago that talked about the same thing as this, we didn't realize that we had gone live because we're oblivious. And we were just talking about random things like we do, and that's a blooper reel of how the other Robert is off of professionalism from YouTube. So if you want to check out Joe and I just being ourselves, check out the blooper reel. So I wanted to give a comment or a shout out to Steel Curtain Media, who wrote a comment on the first attempt at a review where he had said this episode had good values and focus points, even though it wasn't as funny as previous episodes. First, I agree with you. And second of all, thank you for actually commenting on the episode and trying to pull us back from realizing that we were not talking about it at all because we didn't know we were live. But anyway, aside from that introduction, we're here to talk about South Park, episode 3 of season 19. I'm Robert. Here's my other partner on Otherobert, who is...
Boys, girls, all my trumbullocks out there, welcome back to Other Robert. Remember, I put the other in Other Robert. I'm Joe. And just getting right into the review, that comment sums up this episode perfectly. It was an episode with quality writing, very, very solid writing. However, the laughs just were not there. And that...
I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Steel Curtain Media just commented again and said, as stated in your failed review. Thank you, Steel, for checking this out. I appreciate that.
This episode, it was a good continuation of what we've gotten from the first two episodes. Yeah. However, it was definitely not as funny, but the writing was still there, and it definitely felt like a continuation. And it feels like this season is so far very, I guess, compact. They know what they're doing so far.
Yes.
I mean, there's a lot of things here. We saw Mephisto. We saw the mayor. We saw the mayor talked. She had a little bit of a role. I mean, we saw a lot of characters that we haven't seen in quite some time, especially Mephisto. I can't remember. He didn't talk, but I don't remember the last time we saw him besides maybe the episode 200 and 201. But regardless, the episode itself, the quality, it was okay. It was another Kenny heavy episode. And really, the episodes with Kenny, for some reason, just missed the mark with me. What
I would like to speak.
Sure.
As you completely override the review or take the review over. I actually really liked two things in this episode that I want to point out, and then Joe can talk about Kenny. I love the gimmick with Market Basket. I thought because Whole Foods, that people tend to view Whole Foods as kind of a pretentious store because, like, oh, it's healthy, and I go there, and I'm all healthy, and it's expensive, so it's just like a very high cultured store, I guess, cultured. And I really liked the gimmick of bringing Whole Foods to Colorado. I thought that was interesting, and then I also really liked how this episode did the live action commercials with the animated characters to discuss the villa that was surrounding Kenny's home. And then speaking of Kenny, I very much enjoyed how he went to go work for the Asian man at his restaurant for child-free labor, something like that. And I thought that was very funny as well because Kenny had a very fun, very nice resolution with his sister at the end of the episode.
Yeah, and that's what we've come to kind of get out of Kenny-centric episodes in recent seasons. Development and depth, and we see that bond that he has with his sister, and that's where South Park kind of digs into its characters a little bit, and especially Kenny, who is a character who doesn't really speak. We get some depth there, and that's something they've played with before, and they're starting to get deeper with as the seasons go along. So it was nice for them to touch on that here. Maybe we'll get a little bit more down the line. In terms of Kenny, it was another Kenny heavy episode. We've gotten our fair share of Kenny heavy episodes in recent seasons with Hawaii and the agnostic episode, and amongst others. And for most of the time, I would say they're more of a miss. And although this isn't a miss, this definitely isn't the strongest episode this season. I would say it's kind of in between. I don't think it goes anywhere near the quality of last season. I thought that was just on a level of its own in terms of poor quality. This was a solid episode. The writing was there. It brought up great points. Just the humor was not.
Yes. The humor wasn't as full, I guess I could say, or as present as it was in the last episode or the one before that, which I was bawling, laughing at, or dying on the floor laughing at. That was so funny. This episode was a little slower, but I liked it nonetheless. But in comparison, it's the weakest of the three. But I do like that it connects to the three because it referenced the other two episodes, which I liked. I know that you didn't like that last season, but I didn't either. But I like that here. I like that.
Right. And really, just my last point I want to make is it's really continuing this theme very well of really being classic South Park presented in the new South Park way. And what I mean by that is we get the town. A lot of complaints over the past couple of years, especially I've been a big advocate for this, is that we haven't gotten a lot of the town or characters in the town that we care about. Like I said, we got.
Speaking of that,
what was that?
I was just saying. Speaking of that, of town characters, I loved when the Whole Foods representative came to the classroom and asked the question, "Why is the black kid and the disabled kid in the front of the room?" I thought that was one of the funniest points. And then the principal goes, "There's a homo over there too." I just thought that was another fun line. Like the episode had like good bits of humor in between with it.
Right, just not much connecting it.
Yes. It was scattered humor.
Right. Really, though, it's classic South Park presented a new way. A lot of complaints over the past couple of years being we don't get much of the town of the characters. We've been getting that this season. We saw Jimbo and Ned in last week's episode, and Garrison was at the forefront of it. And this week we saw Mephisto, even if he didn't have much of a role. We saw the mayor; she had a little bit of a role. We saw Bar Brady and the detective both sitting at a table with each other, which is great because Bar Brady had the authority figure role in early seasons, and the detective really took that over later. So it was good. It was fun to have them both at the same table. I really enjoyed that. And I hope we get more with that. I would love to see an episode with the two of them at the forefront. That would be comedy gold right there. But really, it's just the way they're presenting the season is very, very nice, and they know what they're doing this season. And I love the tone that they're going with for this season.
Yeah, it was very good. I don't really have too much else to say about it. I liked it. It was good for South Park. Very good. Thank you.
All right.
Yeah, we wrap this up. Like I said, in the beginning of the video, if you want to enjoy failure at its high point for the two of us, it's also public failure. Check out that failed review.
I sing Taylor Swift.
Yeah, and I rant about how I go on talking about Mark Wahlberg. So yeah, that's it. So if you want to see something stupid, that's it. Maybe that could be our next viral video. But so check that out. Thank you for watching. I am Robert. That is Joe. Make sure to subscribe because it takes this much effort to do so. I am copying Joe's gimmick, but
Gimmick infringement.
Yes. We're not talking about that though. And thank you all for watching. And leave your comments on the episode below. And thank you for watching our South Park review. My name is Robert. That is Joe. Good night, everybody.